Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the night that you've all been waiting for. Let's give it up for the fucking Yap Awards, baby! I tell you, the energy in here is electric, Trevor. Not since on Rainbow Mountain when Luigi and Mario were watching Sicario while racing Wario at the fight for Mario Barrios have the people been this pumped for an event.
Woo! Yeah. should we reference? All right. So we had,
not at all.
We definitely had technical difficulties beforehand. I've come to no. Listen. I don't understand fucking technology anymore. I am the old guy. I'm the old guy that you take your car into nowadays, and you're like, oh, I got some problems, and he's like, I don't know. I only work on shit from the 80s, like. I don't know any of this new stuff. You need to go someplace, take it to the dealership. You know what I mean? Like, that's me. I can put a computer together, but if you ask me how to run, like, new process and stuff like that, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing anymore. Damn, it's infuriating. But that's okay. That's okay, because we have a very special episode. Tonight is the first, well, today, your Monday, everyone's Monday, our Sunday, is the first of a long history of video game awards presented by You've Already Peaked Gaming for the remainder of our time on this planet until we get a cease and desist letter.
Next year. The second and final Yap Awards. Someone did not like the dumpster fire of the year being mailed directly to him.
We will go... We'll make it a very special thing. If we have to do it from prison, we'll do it from prison. You know what I mean? I don't give a shit.
We'll just use Cliff's name on the return address, and then the mail will get lost there for a while, and we'll just kind of cycle through.
Yeah. Let's put two return addresses on there. For one.
Yeah.
I don't know where you gotta go. Just pick one.
One will be Cliff's address, and one will be where John McAfee is buried.
He's not dead.
Take your pick.
He's not dead. Oh man! All right, let's get into this. Let's
get right into it.
Let's talk about the video game awards itself.
Yes. Okay. Please.
You talked. I want to mention this again because since we talked about it the other day, I have not stopped thinking about Todd Howard's height.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay.
That's my Roman Empire.
I cannot get away. We left talking about that night. I went and hunted for every single photo I could find of Todd Howard over the past 10 years. It's not a Mandela effect. He's always been short, but I've realized
he's been framing it or something.
He's always been on stage by himself.
And somebody just comes up there and makes the mic stand 2 feet tall.
Well, they made it tall for fucking Nolan North or whoever was with him, or Troy Baker, right? They made it tall because Troy Baker's fucking 6'3" or some shit like that. So it's like they had to make it. It's that tall.
It's not that tall.
You know what the average height of men in America is?
Listen, but we've already
5'9", 5'8".
This is going to be difficult because we've already talked about all this shit. When Ella Purnell was up there, she was towering over him. So it's not like because they're like, oh, it's a 6'4" guy. How tall is Ella Purnell? Not that tall.
What do we say?
For anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, just to like really break it down and make it simple for you. My Mandela effect is I don't think I've actually ever seen a picture or heard him talk before. But as of now, I will refer to not Troy Baker.
Yeah, Troy Baker. Oh, Todd Howard?
No, Todd Howard. I will refer now, like some people say like a yard, 3 feet. They'll use a yardstick. I'm measuring purely based off Todd Howard's from now on. Like if I'm looking at my railing outside, and that's approximately 1 Todd Howard tall. like if I'm looking at things, like that's now how I'm measuring it. It's like 3/4 of a Todd Howard.
That's the most American thing you can do, right?
Freedom, baby.
Yeah.
He's just lucky he doesn't have oil down there.
We just move away from, you know, that's a school bus long, that's a fucking elephant tall. You know what I mean? It's a Todd Howard height. He's 5'6".
Yeah.
He's 5'6". You know, he's 5.5
Which
feet time.
I stand by. He's 5'6" on the internet. I guarantee you put that motherfucker on like a doctor's, like where they have no, push your heels all the way against it, flat back, and they make you do it. Don't lift your chin.
I mean,
he's clocking 5'3".
He's, I don't know, maybe he was slouching. If Troy Baker is 6'3", okay, like he's almost
which
like
is roughly 2 Todd Howard's tall.
Yeah, so roughly. He's a foot taller than Todd Howard. A foot taller on stage. That was an obvious foot taller. A foot, you don't realize it. You think 12 inches, like, whatever. You look like a ruler or whatever. You're like, but like, I measure all the time. 12 inches is fucking massive, dude.
Yeah.
Except for some girls. Then it's
I was looking for the joke there. No. I wish I would have known you were going to be like this. I would have came with receipts. I would have had it. I would have fucking like broken it down. Like if you take this stick, you're gonna measure that. And you got to drip it down. You know.
Well, and then slouching, moving, wiggling around, and then you have to think on top of it. You're at you're looking nice, so you're wearing nice shoes that probably have heels on it and stuff like that.
That's why I'm saying he's not 5'6".
Oh, Troy Baker was probably wearing some heels.
No.
Dude, if I'm 6'3" like Troy Baker, I'm absolutely going to wear some dress heels as well. I'm going to tower over people. Because why not? I'm already fucking tall.
Do.
Yeah. That's the whole point. I want to Yao Ming the shit out of people.
Listen. First off, 6'3" isn't that tall, but talking from somebody who's among the modestly tall.
You're what, 6'3"? You're 6'3".
I'm 6'4".
You're not 6'4".
I'm 6'4", and let me tell you, we don't give a fuck. I would have to wear stilts to care about being taller. Like you'd have to put me at 7 feet.
No.
And then I'm like, yeah. Until then, no, my joints hurt.
You're missing the point. It's not being taller so you can reach things on the top fucking shelf. You're already there. It's being taller in a crowd of people.
Who can?
You're not 6.
What do you fucking care? Nobody fucking cares. Nobody cares.
Dotson, we got Dotson here.
I was 6'4.5" when I had hair.
I'm 6'1". You don't seem 6'4".
You want me to pull up our wedding pictures?
That doesn't count. She's like 5'1".
No, you and me. Oh, I'm holding you like it's prom night, bro.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, fuck out of here.
Maybe that's
we're getting off course quick.
I know we are. Maybe that's a quantum difference, right? Everything after 6 foot, 1 inch is like more like 4 inches. All right, let's. It's fucking hot in this suit. I don't know how you've been doing this for 3 weeks.
3 weeks I've been here waiting, and let me tell you, it's been nice to cool down, heat up, then cool down again. I haven't taken it off.
Oh, well, I'll tell you right now. I'm looking like a fucking Zoom meeting right now. I'm skivvy straight underneath all this.
You think I'm in here with pants?
So, all right. So some of the game announcements that came up during the Video Game Awards. I am super excited. After we talked a little bit, I kind of went back and was like repicturing a few things. I am pumped about a few games. And I want to retouch on, we kind of talked about the Elden Ring thing in a minute, and I want to kind of retouch a little bit on this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So first off, right off the bat, Intergalactic. I am fucking pumped for Naughty Dog's new game, new IP. I am too. Why is everybody hating it? I went back to rewatch it. Yes.
And people are fucking pissed.
Slamming it. They were like, I was reading something that was like, oh, if it came out of Japan, this is the way they would look. But because it came out of North America, this is how it looks. And like people are just like jamming it up for I think again, my thing I was saying is like what I loved about it so much is that the trailer was so reminiscent of like the Akira movie, right? Like the anime from back in like the early 90s or whatever, like the way the jacket works, the way that like the CD pulled down on it, the way the ship was kind of like red and that whole thing. It was like a mirrorsome of Akira. And for me, I just jumped. I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited about this. And I think that's where people are starting to come up with some of this hate. I think it's starting to bother them in a sense because this original IP just feels like stolen ideas. And I think that's where the transition is moving. And then I think there's a lot of things that people are just like, well, they know it's going to be only on Sony and PlayStation. So you have a lot of people that are, you know,
listen, guys.
You know, the people, you got to think about it. If no one really has a computer, and this is a weird scenario to think of. In this day and age, how many people don't own computers?
Oh, probably a fair amount.
A fair amount. And I would say more or less don't own computers that can play
I'd say over half the, well, I'd say over half the population doesn't have computers to play video games.
To play video games, yes. I think there's
a big difference between like you have a computer and there's one that can run the shit that comes out now.
You have Will's computer that you bought from Walmart, or you have stuff that can play Cyberpunk, right? No, yeah, there's a difference. But here's what I also started thinking. There's a generation of kids that are gamers that have been coming up and growing up, and they're now probably at the earlier ages of like actual adulthood, 18 to 20 or whatever it comes out to, that probably haven't actually been introduced into video games on PC or don't have the money. They probably have grown up only as console kids. And I think when we start to realize is that generation, Gen Z and
that's who's starting to pipe up, you think?
Yes. And I think that's where most of
they are the loudest, most obnoxious fucking generation.
Absolutely right. Absolutely.
Bunch of cocksuckers. Like, share, subscribe.
Yeah. I mean, they're the ones that are bitching about Naughty Dog producing a new game, but are standing behind fucking Concord and Dustborn. All right. Okay. And then moving on to the Elden Ring thing. So Night Rain, we talked about this. Night Rain is not Elden Ring. It's more of a PvE centric Fortnite style battle royale.
I rewatched it. I think I rewatched everything that we talked about just to see if I got it a different perspective. I kind of do on this one. And it almost seems like a it's going to sound really bad. I don't mean it's disrespectful. It feels like a playground. And it's just kind of like, I don't know if there is a campaign or a story to it, but to me, it almost feels like run there and go fight this guy. Run there and fight this guy. You know, almost like do you just want to fight shit together? Yeah.
Yeah. It's a boss rush. It's all it is. Now, here's the thing. I know that because From Software is getting sold out to Sony, and they are going to be doing this transition. For me, I think it's a last cash grab that they can go into, because here's the thing. You were saying, oh, I'll buy it. I'll probably buy it. We talked about it. It was like, well, it depends on the price.
Yeah.
If the price is something outrageous, then it's going to be really hard to justify it. But there are people that are fucking blind or dumbass, like, it's a From Software game, I'm going to buy it. You know what I mean? All the people that have been making fucking Vadi and all the kids that have been making, you know, Dark Souls videos and whatever else, you know what I mean? They're going to purchase it because one, part of the streaming revenue is just going to blow up for them, you know? And then two, on top of it, like the idea is like, because it has From Software's name on it, they're going to jump on it. And like, of course, the people that play Dark Souls 3 or anything like that, and, you know, they see the Nameless King in the middle of that, like, oh my God, I was there when he was fucking content. Da, da, da. You know what I mean? It's like,
you just stuck me with a knife and I don't know how it feels.
Yeah.
I'm like half excited and half like scared / sad.
Yeah.
On Vadi doing videos on that, you know? Like,
Vadi already did a video on it. And so that's what has kind of changed my perspective on this thing. Because listening to Vadi talk about it, I instantly started doing this whole thing. I was like, no, okay. I can see where he's coming from. I can understand that point.
Ooh, what's his point of view?
His point of view is that he just kind of like detailed it based off of what he was able to get from other people that have been able to play the build so far, and like kind of like introduce it, and how like it's not like a class-based game, or it's not like a traditional game where you deal with your own stats. You get to pick between a handful of different characters that are already predetermined that have specials and abilities. And as you play the game, you do kill monsters, you get gear while you're in there. It's very roguelike in that aspect, where like you kind of level up and put your kit together as you go, but every character starts the exact same way when you go in. And so like there's no increasing, but there are certain classes that do specific. There's classes that have more health, so they're a little bit more tanky, so you probably use them as tank stuff. You know, it's kind of like finding its middle ground between like the Holy Trinity. And so it does seem more like it is designed as a quick in and out experience where, you know, you have 3 days, whatever they consider days, inside of their match to grind and kill as much stuff and then extract out of it. So it's also an extraction fucking game as well. There's like, it's like From Software just shuffled all the stuff and then just gave it the code of the Elden Ring. And it's just like, I don't know how I should feel about it.
You're making me feel a lot worse now.
Yeah. I'm like, does it sound cool? Yeah, it could sound cool because like, you don't have to worry about your build. You don't have to worry about the story. You can just go in and just play the fighting aspect of it. It's like all the cool things that people like about the Elden Ring game, which is the combat. You just get that without having to run around and do a bunch of crazy stuff. You know what I mean? But then there's the other side of it too, where there's the people that are like, well, okay, then what's the point? Is this a blatant cash grab that I'm just going to play for a couple months and be done with? Because if that's the case, then it just doesn't seem like it's worth the buy. It's worth waiting for a massive sale.
Yeah. Man, you just took the wind out of my sails.
Yeah. The more I've been looking at this, the more I'm just like, I just don't understand it. I just don't feel comfortable about it.
That's why we do 2 takes.
That's why we do take takes. That's exactly right. Because
so we can bring you the news that you want and deserve.
Well, I think more like, isn't it great when we actually like know what we're going to talk about before we sit down and fucking do this shit?
It sure is.
All right, moving on. Witcher 3 or Witcher 4.
I've also shifted on this again.
Oh, okay, good. Because I
rewatched it.
My stance is exactly the same.
I don't know if I missed a big chunk of it, like towards the beginning, but like I've shifted, not hard shifted.
Okay.
But yeah, I kind of see it. And I did. I like, so your argument was, if it's The Witcher, why isn't it The Witcher? Like, why is The Witcher 4 not about like The Witcher and like
Geralt and the whole storyline that it's been culminating for the past God knows how many years?
I get that. And Syria's in there, and like in my head, like the first time, like just watching, I was like, oh, okay. Like I kind of took it for what it is. But then thinking about it, you got in my head and you're like, well, why aren't you watching it with Liam fucking what's his face? And why aren't you like XYZ? And yeah, it kind of is. I feel like it's not, it isn't in a sense, you know, like to me, Henry Cavill will be The Witcher. Like he just did too good playing it. Yep. You're not going to take like the third best Hemsworth brother and make him act that way better than him.
Yeah.
And it ruins it for me.
Doesn't mean that the game is going to be bad by any means.
I don't think it's going to be bad.
Or the storyline will be bad. It seems like it could be it's a pretty universal storyline across the board where it's pretty easy to do. The idea about Witchers is they go out and they fight monsters, right? Like all the internal stuff, but like I don't know. I also started thinking about this on a different way, and I don't mean to be like overly sexist about this, but that's how it's going to come off. The romance and the stories and stuff that existed within The Witcher.
I'm going to get fucking fingered.
Exactly, right? I don't know if that's like totally a comfortable thing that you're going to see in those games. I'm not saying that it was a main part of it, but when you start to pick and choose certain things because of the character that is playing it, you're really fucking with an IP.
Yeah, but we're living in a world past Baldur's Gate 3. Never before that game did I suck all the dicks. And let me tell you, I sucked a lot. Everything that came at me, I put it in my mouth. Yeah. So maybe I am going to get fingered in The Witcher. And maybe I'm okay with that.
And I'm not saying that, again, I'm not saying
going Dragon Age.
That is not the defining factor of the game. But I just mean like you have these relationships that have existed and spanned 3 games now that, like, you know, you're going to try and rebuild from the scratch. It just doesn't make sense to call it The Witcher 4. Like I was saying with the whole Mass Effect thing, you go and do a whole new storyline, you call it Mass Effect Andromeda, and it's its own entity starting its own place, and it felt okay with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like some people go, you know, well, you know, look at Assassin's Creed. Yo. So after Assassin's Creed 3, like, which was the end of Desmond's storyline, they tried Assassin's Creed 4, and then every game past that has just been its own Assassin's Creed game, because it's only been about the person that you go back in time with, not about the fucking whole wrapped up storyline that existed. It's like Star Wars. You know what I mean? Star Wars has spanned fucking 9 movies, but it's all revolved
From
around
Captain Kirk to Chewbacca.
Yeah.
It's
Captain Kirk, Chewbacca, Batman. They're all in there. But I mean, I don't know. I hope
I see where you're coming from.
Cheese dick it just for series.
I still think it's gonna be decent, probably amazing. And if not, man, if there's one thing that I've gotten from like Red Dead Redemption and replaying that, I started thinking about it. I want to play The Witcher 3 again. And I just want to play Gwent. Just the card game over and over. You know, if they have that in there, it's still a good game.
You know, there's just a Gwent game on Steam. It's just Gwent.
Things I don't need to know, Trevor. Move on.
All right, next on the list is...
I don't have to fast travel to fucking...
Yeah, you just...
Next on the list!
It's just a fucking Hearthstone for Gwent. We got Ico and Shadow of the Colossus creator, or director.
Focus. I'm not going to download it right now. I'm going to focus on what we're doing.
Is making a new game. And this is one of those ones that I'm actually... This is probably top of my list of excited for.
I watched the trailer again.
Yeah.
Since we last talked.
Yeah.
So I've never played Ico or Shadow of Colossus.
Right.
I had no clue what you were talking about.
Right.
When this is going. From my initial perspective, seeing that trailer for the first time, it didn't look like a rendering. It looked like somebody was playing it. It looked like somebody was putting it together, like going into a cutscene. And as simple and artfully done as it was, that was enough for me to be like, I don't know what this is. I really want it.
Yeah.
And then you like told me kind of like the basis of those games. I want it 10 times more.
Yeah. And then see, that's the way that this guy has always been doing video games, where everything is this really strangely cinematic thing. Like you're just running down a corridor, and then just for some reason the camera just pans back, and you're still running, you're still playing the character, but like you're overseeing like this land or a castle, or you see something in the background, and like it's the perspective of storytelling of letting you know that's where you're going. Like you don't know where you're going, you don't know why you're going through here, but you're just running, and then all of a sudden the camera pans back and you see where you're going. You don't know how to get there, you just kind of know that's
just tells you without telling you.
Exactly. And like so the whole way he does these video games, it's like the setting is the character. You know what I mean? Like you're not really playing the character. The character doesn't really terribly matter, but it's the environment, the place, the things that you're doing, your companions. Those are the things that matter the most. Like in Shadow of the Colossus, your horse becomes one of the most like iconic like side characters of all video games. And I swear to God, I would protect that horse with my life. Like, you know, and all you do is just ride them to and from another Colossus. You know what I mean? Like, but it's just like, there's something about it. Like the way that the story tells it with no words spoken. Like, it's just one of those, it's cool because like you kind of forget, and we talk about this a lot with music. Music is kind of universal. You know what I mean? Like you can listen to music from everywhere, from all across the world. And there's some music out there that can resonate with you, even if it's not in your language. You can hear it. You can hear the emotion in it. You can hear the fucking feeling. You can hear the beats. And like your body just instantly, like I fell in love with Mode Selector when I was over in the UK. I didn't understand a fucking word that entire band was saying, but I just love the music. You know what I mean? Like there's just shit like that can happen. Well, if you put that back into video games, you can do the same thing. You know what I mean? You don't have to tell a story. You don't have to write this out. You don't have to have language invested in it. You can do this whole thing with just the game in itself. It's the media itself that can tell that story. And that's what makes me so pumped to see a new one. I'm so ready for it. I'm so ready. Yeah.
Am I still here?
Yeah, you're still here.
Okay, I'm watching you go crazy right now. I'm just trying to keep a neutral face in case I do freeze.
No, you're all right. Been a little sketchy, but I mean, that's what happens when you lose power. Oh, is it bad still?
No, I'm just kidding. We're good.
Okay.
I think we're out of the woods, except for me.
Borderlands 4 got its official look.
That one I didn't watch again. I don't think I needed to watch again. I think we both were just hit the nail on the head. Like, nostalgia gonna get me. I'm gonna play it. Yeah. I promise you that.
All right, we'll buy every DLC.
I'm not super excited for it. I am, but I'm not. I have a feeling I'm gonna get, it's gonna be one of those things where like they get me, all it takes is one butt stallion reference and I'm like,
yeah,
there's enough in there that you will get me, but I know at some point when the nostalgia wears off and I'm still playing the game, I will be like, man, I wish they did this or I wish they did that. Long as Kevin Hart is not in it, that's a big plus for me.
I have to imagine. I'm hoping, because it says Borderlands 4. Okay, I'm hoping that it's the original teams that did 1, 2, and 3. Okay, because we know pre-sequel went to fucking their Australian team. 2K's Australian team, and then we do know that Tiny Tina's went to somebody else, and so yeah, it may have been under Gearbox, but Gearbox has not really had a great track record lately. You know what I mean? Like after the acquisition, after all the different things, the different games they've tried to pump out. I don't know. There's something about it that's just got this really weird feeling about it, and I think one of the things that's giving me the weirdest feeling about it is the art style. The art style just looks fucking off. It just doesn't have that cel-shaded traditional look. Like, you look at 1. I went back and I rewatched 1 again, and I'm like, man, it's showing its fucking
That's
age.
A fucking banger trailer, though.
It's a banger trailer. Oh, my God.
Dude, 1 and 2.
Oh, my God. Like, Ain't No Rest of the Wicked and The Heavy fucking, like, those 2 songs alone killed it, like, top to bottom. 3 was fine, 4 was fine, but 1 and 2, but you look at Borderlands 1 and it's starting to show its age as a game. It's really starting to show its age.
Yeah.
But it's still really, really unique and interesting and cool. You see Borderlands 2 and then you realize, oh fuck, man, they really came out of the fucking gate pumping hard with Borderlands 2. And Borderlands 3, they took everything that they learned and made that game. And I will tell you, Borderlands 3 is a phenomenal fucking game. Story-wise, a little on the edge. Still great story. Loved it. Art was beyond all belief. Gameplay was beyond all belief. I love Borderlands 3. It was such a good game. Borderlands 4, the art just looks weird and it's bugging me.
It's too clean.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
It's like the cell shading colored too well between within the lines,
it doesn't look like it's art that is cell shaded and played, like, in a sense. And like, I know that's not how they've done it.
Like, if you were to cell shade this, right?
Yeah.
You would almost like rough take like a marker. Theirs looks like they separated like layers and individually made it, but still tried to keep that like cell shading.
Well, not only just that
effect to it, and
it looks like a 3D model that they just covered with a cell shade.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It doesn't look like it's an art thing, which also brings me on to another point of the I think we talked about this, where that I was talking about how Unreal Engine 5 was doing the thing where they have upscalers and stuff within their engine, and we're relying on upscalers from the engine and our graphics card to make things. So companies are cutting corners when producing video games and making video games, because they're just letting the engine or our graphics card upscale to make them look better. And that's why we have such fucking dog shit games. And like why people are saying like 10 years ago, games were so much better. They looked better. They felt better. You know what I mean? And I think one of the problems is just devs being lazy, and the fact that Unreal Engine 5 does it for us.
Does a lot of work. It makes so much sense though.
It does. It makes so much
when
sense.
you look at like just like the shortcuts that are taken. Like, I think the biggest one, like Star Wars Outlaw versus like Red Dead 2, for instance, like they showed like an animal dying, like when like you shoot an animal, like when you're hunting, and like one dot like keeled over and had like the animation, and then Star Wars Outlaw kind of like looks the same in gameplay aspect, but then just like poof, like a cloud pops up and then it's on its side. It's like that's where the shortcut was taken, because you didn't do any of the work to make the wireframe and make the mesh and everything there. So you have to use these like cheesy implementations to get through it.
And now that you're frozen, oh, you're back. Okay. You're absolutely right. When when you do those cheesy implementations to make something, the thing is that I don't know why you think you're going to pull the wool over gamers' eyes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those fucking idiots are the most critical about everything. And I get it. People come out and be like, well, it's hard to make
my mother and say you're the IRS. You got a lot better time getting that money than you do.
Yeah, it's like, it's this idea that like, people, oh, it's really hard to make a video game. And now the technology is so much more, and people have such high expectations of video games, it's really hard for us to get them out in a period of time and Then sit on them. No, because you got to give your money to Papa Big Bucks publishers on the top end that are saying, well, we've given you money. We want this game by this time. So you got to crunch. And now you got 2 years to make a game that doesn't make any fucking sense. Sit on it. Like, if you got any fucking morals, like Sven said when he came out on stage, you know what I mean? Like, I go to sleep listening to his speech.
I brush my teeth to that shit.
I swear to God, that man,
so good.
That man had said some shit that was just it is so perfect, because it's not just. I started thinking about it because I went back and I rewatched his fucking whole speech.
It's like an immaculate knockout.
It is
like if you were to if it was a slow motion fight, he's slipping the hook, setting up, coming with a cross, backing up, like it's just like it's so. Everything he said, how he articulated it, how he finished it, it is just a beautiful killer combination against
and it's just
cocksuckers.
Like, exactly. And that's the thing about it. The cocksuckers of it. You look at the fucking gaming industry. AAA is dying. You got Ubisoft selling off to Tencent, right? Blizzard, Activision, God knows what the fuck they're doing anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's like the greats are dead and it's all about money. And so when you go back to having a company or a game or developer that is just about the game, all of a sudden you get these fucking killers. Why did Bolotaro fucking win 6-7 different awards? You know what I mean? Like, there is a point where someone...
For the love of the game.
For the love of the game, man. And that's the thing about gamers. The only reason they play your game is for the love of the game. Well, some of them. I mean, with Twitch and YouTube and all the different things, people do things differently a little bit nowadays. Like, if you're a person who doesn't consume gaming media in the sense of like live streaming or YouTube or TikTok and shit like that, and you just play video games, I guarantee your mindset on video games is drastically different. You're the Sean of the world. I swear. If you do not consume like countless bullshit media that just gets pumped out constantly on video games, you don't get sold by fucking stupid reels of Panicore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I guarantee you.
I just picture God, like Sean, even though he still may be like on Steam, right? Like in his head, he's still walking into a GameStop in 2003.
Yeah.
And he's still like flipping it over and reading the back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like he's not asking the guy at the counter because he's willing to take some chances.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that. Like that's how I imagine him picking up games. He's just like, you know what? I'm gonna play this.
See, and my problem from when I worked at GameStop and like now that I play video games, I know that the gaming, like how the gaming industry works, and I follow a bunch of developers and stuff. I read reviews, and I think that's what's tainted my fucking like mind. I'm not saying that I don't play games. My expectations are so tempered by reviews beforehand that I go into a game knowing that a lot of people disliked it, and so I'm looking for why they disliked it and trying to find why I would like it, and then those two like things. Or like if I'm on the fence about playing a video game where I'm like, man, this looks really cool, but a lot of people have said shit, then I consume other people's media of the game before playing it myself to determine whether or not I want to spend the money on it, which rightly so, because games are way too fucking expensive nowadays. And not that it's too expensive, right? $70 is really not that much money. It's a crazy amount of money, but like we've been paying $60 for video games for years. What's 10 extra dollars realistically? But when you spend $70 and then you keep getting shit, or you get a good game for 2 months and then a developer or publisher ruins it, you know what I mean? So what ends up happening is I start making my own opinions based off of other people's experiences while playing the game. And then I kind of like, well, I'll just keep it on the wish list. If it pops up on a sale, I'll pick it up. You know, instead of jumping on it when it's fresh and new. And like, then there's certain games where it's like Stalker, where I'm like, I don't give a shit what anybody says. I'm going to play it.
Yeah.
I just don't know why my mindset has changed so drastically about video games.
It's because there's not enough Larian Studios. There's not enough people that do it for the love of the game.
Yeah.
They do it without like pre-planning in, like, that's a good game idea. How are we going to get some microtransactions in there?
Yeah.
What is the battle pass going to give the players?
Yeah. 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 You're absolutely right. And then you see things like
when he said that in his speech, where he's like, where nothing is planned around how they can suck the economy out of the players that reside within it. Like God.
Yeah. And that's absolutely right. And that's the thing about it. But then you look at games like Helldivers, where Helldivers is a perfect example of a developing company that is looking to take money from their players by introducing those fucking, whatever they're called,
war bonds
every couple months. You know what I mean? And those war bonds are not expensive. Those war bonds are $10 or something like that. They're really relatively cheap and small, but then there's a good game behind it, right? And it's not like the game is, it's not Call of Duty where the game is fucking actually trash, but there's nothing else on the market like it, so no one else plays it. So then they just keep investing their time and money into it. There's a lot of people who play Helldivers for just the Helldiver experience, and the war bonds just kind of help keep the game moving forward. Okay, I'm not mad about that. If you do it tactfully and a little bit ethically, and saying things like, "Hey, these war bonds are not going to go away. Buy them whenever you want." You know, I think the biggest thing. But then you look at these things where it's like, especially Helldivers, and Helldivers does this, where it's like, we've introduced a new fucking creature or a new mob or something like that, and it's like, oh, what's the best way to
this war bond?
Exactly.
They got a little bit of that.
And so when you miss 4 or 5 war bonds, the next thing you know, you got to pump out $50, and it's like, ooh, I don't know about that, you know?
It's showbiz, baby.
I know. And that's the worst part about it. And that's why Sven needs to get on top of everyone, you know? He needs to be running the game industry.
No.
What?
Yes. But you know who needs to be running the game industry?
Donald Trump.
Nah, close from who I'm about to say. That guy from It Takes Two Studios.
Oh yeah,
whatever the fuck that guy's name.
Yeah.
That guy needs to be in charge of the Game Awards. All the gaming studios.
What a Chad.
Possibly a small country that produces cocaine. Like give him Peru or something.
Oh yeah,
like,
dude.
God, that guy fucks.
Hey, you know why we make video games? Because we fucking love to do it. All right, man, I'm behind you.
The fact that they let him run wild and censored Snoop Dogg is fucking crazy to me.
I don't think they gave him they probably said don't swear, and he's like, I'm just, don't invite me back then. Man, his speech too was just like the way that he's like, yeah, we just fucking make games, and it was like, that's the dude that you can follow, because when someone like that is talking, you know that person is a gamer. Like all you needed was like an F-bomb or a little bit, you know what I mean? Like some things.
Everybody else, every single other person that had a speech plan was like, okay.
Yeah.
That guy's backstage, like his friends slapping in the face. We can do this. We can do this. Just screaming in each other's faces. And he went out and just served.
Yep. God. What else got announced? Onimusha, new Onimusha game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about that one. Me and Aaron were talking about it. It's like because we're going back, like what was the last Onimusha you played or whatever? It's like, oh man, I played them all back in the day, and it's like I didn't play like the Warriors, or I didn't play a little of the after ones, but like I just started immediately thinking back. I was like, my favorite Onimusha game was Onimusha 2 on the PlayStation 2. We played as Jubei and all that. Oh my god, man, I would love to play a new Onimusha game. And that was the thing. Okay, that was the thing because we have Onimusha. Okami 2 got fucking announced. What else was there? There's a new Turok game, even though.
Yeah, that's what I don't know if nostalgia is going to solve. I got really fucking pumped as soon as they announced it. Well, am I still here?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Oh, okay. You're looking at the side. I was afraid.
No.
I got real excited as soon as I realized like what it was because it didn't announce Turok, but you're like, oh, this is definitely Turok.
Yeah.
And then they started showing some more of the gameplay, and I started went. Ugh. It's almost like the original Karate Kid. Like, should I just leave this as nostalgia and not let them ruin this for me?
You look at
it's hard.
You go back and you play like Turok 1 and Turok 2 on like N64, right? And then you go to like what was Turok? Was it 2013 or 2014 Turok on like the PlayStation 3? Is that what it was? I think it was PlayStation 3 Turok. I think it was on Xbox and PlayStation 3, and it was not good. It wasn't bad, but it was a linear Turok storyline. It had dinosaurs and a bow, but you just used a gun the whole time. And then you have this game, which is just kind of like it feels very Ark Rust survival-esque.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel Turok-y.
How it played out. It didn't look like an action shooter, which like ultimately kind of is what Turok is.
Yeah. It's a boomer shooter. Classic Tarkov is a boomer shooter. It's the Quake, it's the Dooms, it's whatever, you know. Turok. But I also wonder if this starts the idea behind. Can you keep them down? We're trying to have a conversation.
They're getting antsy.
It's because they're trying to go home.
Shut the fuck up!
This has been done since Thursday. I wonder if things like this will start to breed a new generation of gamers. We talked about this before, where games that become remastered or whatever, we're able to introduce new gamers into old concepts. So where even for us, it might be like a nostalgia point, or us even being like, yeah, we'll leave it in the past because the old game, the original was better. We're still introducing new gamers into our nostalgia points. If this can help generate ideas and things like that, even think about it. Think about this, because I was thinking about this. This actually kind of fucked me up a little bit. The people who are developing games nowadays are kids that have never played these games before.
Yeah, they're.
You know what I mean? They never grew up with these games. It's
like a DJ just going through. He's all, music in the 80s, 90s. Yeah. People never sample this. Yeah. Let's throw a sample of this in there. You're just like, I fucking hate you.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. That's the thing about it.
Yeah,
and because. And you have a lot of the old dudes that are older than us that have been gaming forever or making games forever that are at their tail end where they're just like, just put the fucking game out because I don't want to hear Activision yell at me for the next 6 months.
I hate this idea. Not only because I wouldn't hate it as much. It stings that we're the old people. Yeah. I get that. Sure. I get that part. What irritates me about shit like this is when they do it, but they're like, oh, we could streamline, like we've come leaps and bounds over the original premise of the game. And when you leave the original premise and basically just like remaster it, you leave it just as linear, you leave it with just as little options and things like that, and think that it's enough. Like, I don't know though. Maybe I backed myself into a corner because is that enough?
Well, it's like
for new people experiencing it, or are we just?
Well, here's the thing. So, perfect example of something that I realized that is on that line. So, WoW introduced Classic WoW. So, at one point during a BlizzCon, they were doing like a panel and there was a Q&A, and someone had asked, "Would you ever bring back like a server that was just its time in that time, like so vanilla WoW when it first came out?" would you ever introduce like a game of that? And J. Allen Brack was on stage and he was like, you know what? We'll never do something like that because you think you want something like that, but you really don't. You really don't. And then, so what ended up happening is a few years later, they introduced Classic WoW. They brought it out. Vanilla exactly as it was. And people went in and played it. And the forums were lit up with like, with this bug, this doesn't work. This is broken. And their whole thing was like, this
exactly
is
how you wanted
what
it.
you fucking wanted. This is how it was. It sucks. We know it sucks. We tried to tell you, but that's what you get. And the old heads, the people that played vanilla, was like, yeah, but we knew how to work around it. It was all the new people that came in being like, this is not fun. And it's like, yeah, it's not fucking fun. That's why they innovated and changed on it.
Yeah.
But then at the same point, like you do lose that nostalgia base. So then they introduced like a new updated version when they brought out Burning Crusade Classic. They were like, okay, Burning Crusade Classic as it is, but we're fixing all the shit that we should have fixed at its time. And we'll make this a little bit easier for people. And everybody was like, oh my God, this is so much better. And it's like, well, yeah, that was the whole point. That's why we made these leaps and bounds. So it's this really weird fine line of like, how do you make old games new games, but keep them old games while still having
without stepping on the nostalgia?
Yeah.
Like,
which at that point for me is like, stop remastering stuff. That's the answer for me. Leave the old shit in the end, or just remaster it in a way that will work on current gen. You know what I mean? Let me play old games on current gen. Does it look nice? No, it doesn't need to though. I'm not looking for it for that point.
yeah.
And then if you see that there's a resurgence in this, okay, well now it's time for a new game, right? Take Metal Gear Solid for a perfect example. There will never be another one because Hideo Kojima's gone. But when they released all this stuff, they're remastering and re-releasing Metal Gear Solid 3. Oh, we'll wait for you to come back. There you are. They're releasing Metal Gear Solid 3, and it's like, it looks good. It looks really good because it's all updated engines. It looks fucking phenomenal and all this stuff. How they do it, who knows? Because I just saw Silent Hill 2 and it's like, but if you see that there's a resurgence in this, okay, well now it's time for a new game. Make a new Metal Gear game. You know what I mean? In that sense. I hope they don't, because don't fuck with Hideo stuff. But it was just an example. I mean, that's
exactly what I was thinking of the entire time you were talking before you got to that. Like, it's like, if there's ever one, I'd want it to be Metal Gear, but don't actually want it because I want you know.
Yeah. Or give the license back to Hideo and let him fucking let him do it. But yeah, I mean, in general, though, that's the biggest thing about this 10th year anniversary with the Game Awards was that there was a bunch of nostalgia points coming up. Turok, Okami, Virtua Fighter 6. Like, there are franchises that they are doing new games for that I haven't seen a new game for since 2007, 2008. You know what I mean? We're talking about coming up on a 10-year time span between another one of these games in this IP, and it makes me excited for that. It's like, holy shit. It's not necessarily bringing back nostalgia as much as it's just,
yeah, y'all still doing this?
Exactly. Yeah. Like, I'm excited to see what happens with this. Now, Turok, again, I'm kind of sidebar that. Virtua Fighter, though? Ooh, baby. Onimusha? I'll take it. You know what I mean? So, again, I can only be semi-positive about certain things. You know?
Yeah.
Thick as Thieves with Warren Spector.
I
went back and rewatched that trailer again too.
Did you see what I was saying?
Yeah. It's very Dishonored, but almost more cartoony. I just, like I said before, I really just hope.
Did you see the candlelight?
I did see the candlelight. I saw what you're talking about.
I think there's a little bit something there.
It's a little too almost AI, maybe. Like, I don't know if there's just something off about it that just.
It's off, but I almost feel like right as I had that knee-jerk reaction, I also had the thing like, it looks the way they panned with it looks significant enough that it could almost be a game mechanic.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And that's, again, there are some things in this that could be different, especially like I said, if Warren Spector is doing it and he's actually leading it, and the guy hasn't fucking fully lost his mind, like Deus Ex is still to this day one of the best stealth games of all time, you know? So it's like, give the guy some credit, you know? But again, how we made games 20 years ago, how do we make games now? I don't know how you recreate that magic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Think about it. There was no fucking computers the way that they are now. Do you know how they used to make fucking Mario? Like the original Mario on Nintendo?
Just fucking lines of code.
Yeah, ones and zeros, basically.
Yeah, just like the fucking
a wild scenario. And how
like take JavaScript and go like one iteration before that.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
like what?
And so, like, you know, it's because we had to understand the technology and we had to understand how to do things that it made games way like if you wanted a game to look quality, you had to have quality people making it. Now, anybody with a MacBook's a DJ, right? You know?
Yeah.
So it's kind of a hard concept to swallow sometimes. You look at these things to be excited about and you're like, yeah, we'll see how that all goes. There's a few other things. Honestly, the one game that I am looking for, I think we talked about, is still Dispatch. I just, you know, old team that did Tales of the Borderlands. That's the one with Aaron Paul.
Oh yeah.
Did you watch that trailer?
Yeah.
It just looks good. It just looks easy and fun and simple.
It does.
Nobody fucking likes to play story-based, like, you know, choices matter games like that where you just sit in, unless you're already you were one of your fans of the Telltale games back in the day, The Walking Dead, Tales of the Borderlands, you know, A Wolf Among Us. Like, if you are not already invested or like those type of stories, you're probably not gonna find love in this. But the way the writing is done in this game, it looks good, man. It looks fun.
I do like those games.
You play enough sex games like that.
Please don't compare my games, the games that I play, to Aaron Paul. I think Aaron Paul just kind of ruined it for me. He got up there and started talking, and I was like, fucking, like, why can't you? Like, if he went out there and he was just giving the speech, but as Jesse Pinkman, like, just that role is bigger than him.
I know.
And that's all I need from him. When he talks otherwise, it's like, man, you kind of just suck.
Yeah, but I mean, there's also that. Okay, all right. There's also a point too where, like,
it's like, were you there when we were at KFC in Placerville? And fucking God, who was that rapper? Every other day in my hood, it's a hot day.
No,
but for me, it's a Cell Rock day.
No.
God, he put out this dopest fucking song, and he came out and we met him at a KFC in Placerville because he was going up to Tahoe to do it, and I was like, man, that guy sucks. It's just like, I don't even like your song anymore. This guy is like that. Don't meet your heroes, kids.
Yeah, that's exactly right. There's also a point too where I'm also wondering if, you know, when big name actors leave the scene of acting and they start doing voice acting, right? You start to see them start to get into animated films and things like that. And then there's a slow transition into video games. There's probably a different dynamic that people like. Do you remember when they brought Al Pacino on stage 2 years ago? You know what I mean? There's a point of, I have to imagine that there are some people that just don't. They're not, put them behind a booth, give them a script, but like, don't put them out in front of people. You know what I mean?
Oh, Al Pacino's fucking hair too. Like, it's like, it's dyed, but it's like growing out. That was a fucking.
Oh man. It was like someone woke him up.
And that guy that's on stage 6 months later had a child. Fucking.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
All right.
So, anyway,
ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready for ours. So we've gone through.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what you've really all been waiting for, the first of many yet to come,
probably last,
the Yap Awards, presented to you by Goldfish Flavor Blasted Extra Cheddar. They are the snack that keeps you coming back. Trevor, give us a breakdown of what we're going through today.
So we had a a good amount. We had a good amount of responses for our categories here. So we start from the bottom up. So we had the
12,000.
Yeah, 12,000. Fucking outrageous. Don't even know how that happened. We don't even have that many subscribers. I don't know how other people play this shit award. So our categories were Dota 2, League of Legends, Valorant, Fortnite, Minecraft, Diablo 4, World of Warcraft, and Escape from Tarkov. And I actually kind of fucked this one up last week. Our winner for this is Fortnite.
What? How?
Yeah. Because they're colors. They're all colors, and I'm fucking colorblind. Fortnite is.
I'm colorblind.
Fortnite is the I don't know how other people win the play this game award.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah. Well, I mean, out of all the lists,
You don't count.
That's a good point. Also,
yeah, is that why it changed? You went through the highlighter. You're like, man, this should have won.
Our next award is Best Video Game Show Movie of the Year. We had Fallout, Borderlands, Arcane, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, Tomb Raider: The Legend of Lara Croft, or Minecraft. The winner was Fallout.
We know this.
We know this.
We not only
Walton
know Goggins does not miss.
He does not miss. I've been rewatching Justified. Dude, he is so good. He is just a great actor.
In everything. Every single thing.
So, our silver lining game of the year. We had The Outlast Trials, Helldivers 2, Bolotaro, Stalker 2, Black Myth Wukong, and The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. The winner for this was The Outlast Trials. Which is wild. Helldivers 2 was close second on that, but Outlast Trials won.
Outlast Trials just kind of seemed... I mean, I know we've talked about this before, but it just kind of seemed like the game that, like, it wasn't even like a Hail Mary, like oh, let's just see. And it just happened to be a lot of fucking fun,
It was a lot of fun.
And that was a silver lining
I will take
to
it.
me.
So, our most anticipated award for Dumpster Fire of the Year.
Dumpster Fire of the Year. I like this more than the more than Game of the Year. This is what I'm always most excited about.
We have The Day Before, Dead Drop, Stalker 2, Suicide Squad, Concord, Skull and Bones, Star Wars Outlaw, and Dustborn. Our winner was Skull and Bones.
Oh, I forgot that. I hate that. Oh,
no, we like that because it's the first quadruple A video game.
Quadruple A game of the year, yeah.
To a studio who's about to fucking sell to Tencent. If you're not giving them the Dumpster Fire of the Year
I forgot that.
Yeah, dude. I don't know what else to do.
Hit me twice. Good for you, you sexist shit.
All right, so we got the Sean Award. Great story, but fuck your opinion. Dragon Age the Veilguard, Dragon's Dogma 2, Warhammer 40k Space Marines 2, V Rising, World of Warcraft, Elden Ring, Destiny 2. Our award goes to Dragon Age Veilguard.
We know this. We absolutely know this.
I want to know who voted for this.
I did.
But great
for
story.
Veilguard?
You voted great story, but fuck your opinion?
No.
you just did it against the Sean Award?
Yes. No, I did we talk about this last time? I feel like we did. When I read that, no. Last podcast, I think we talked about this because I was like, I admit I read that wrong. I thought it meant like, I like the story, fuck your opinion.
Oh.
Not, I personally think it's a great story. I don't. But Sean is just so like, you know what? I'm going for the story.
So this award should be Sean's opinion on a story. Fuck your opinion. Award.
That's exactly how I imagined it. Yes.
Okay. We got the Will Award. You hate yourself, but you keep playing.
I remember this one.
Escape from Tarkov, Hell Let Loose, Call of Duty Black Ops, World of Warcraft, Destiny 2, Overwatch 2. Our winner was Escape from Tarkov.
I get it, but I'm not going to say I don't think there are better options in that list. I'm a little disappointed in you all out there, but
my choice was Overwatch 2.
Yeah.
Hell Let Loose is like one of those things where it's like
I'm convinced he only plays that game to try to run into Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Yeah.
Or Jeff Gordon or whoever the fuck it is that plays that game.
All right, the Trevor Award. Best game ever for 5 minutes. We had Stalker 2, A Day Out, Blood and Bacon, Herat, Zeom, Disfigure, Panicore, and Escape from Tarkov. Our winner was Stalker 2.
That's what I voted for. Also, another thing where it's just like, I voted that because in that 5 minutes, that's what you were playing.
And you're exactly... You know what I haven't done? I haven't played Stalker 2 since.
Oh, I was gonna say, in hindsight, I probably would have done Panicore if I really thought it through.
Yeah, because we played it for about 5 minutes. The Brad Award: Autism Forward or Sex Game? Shattered Mind, Last Human, Tyrone Souls, Tame It, Viking Sex and Blood, Go Pizza Boy, Escape from Tarkov. Escape from Tarkov was our winner. Now I didn't talk about this last time. Escape from Tarkov is our winner for your Autism Forward. There was 2 other games that popped up on this under votes. One was Tyrone Souls and one was Viking Sex and Blood.
I don't even know what Viking Sex and Blood is.
I'm about to play it though.
Yeah, absolutely. I almost wish it would have gone to the. I gratefully accept Escape from Tarkov as being my own personal form of autism. I just really wish the winner would have been something I have no clue what it is, like Go Pizza Boy or Viking Blood. I think that would have been just perfect. Like, I don't even know what it is. Perfect.
All right, so we got the Clorf Award. It's less than $5 or remastered. Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door, Persona 3 Reloaded, Silent Hill 2, Call of Duty Black Ops, Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D Remake, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, Star Ocean: The Second Story. And our winner was Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth.
Yeah.
With the close second being Star Ocean: Second Story.
Once again, kids, if there's one thing that I've learned from this that I hope that you all learn and take to heart next year, give it a little thought through and maybe vote after listening to our podcast, because I voted before we had the podcast. And when we talk things out, if things make more sense. God, it would have been funny if HD2 revamped remake would have won. Just the title alone.
Early access of the year. We've got Enshrouded, Pow World, Manor Lords, Gray Zone Warfare, Liar's Bar, Hades 2, Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, Nightingale, TCG Card Simulator, Backpack Battles, and Once Human. Our winner was Enshrouded. Which makes sense.
It makes sense.
I'm okay with
especially given our friend group.
Yep.
Had I voted later, I really do think it might have been Gray Zone.
I think it
would have ruffled some feathers, but
I think it might have been Gray Zone for me.
They made leaps and strides right there at the end, and that should count.
I think I chose Pow World. I think Pow World was my early access game.
I don't think that's a bad choice at all.
I mean, Enshrouded, I think, is good. I think it capitalized on a lot
I
of
think
stuff
it was really good.
People wanted as a survival crafter game. I think it really did that. I think Pow World was
and most importantly, got all of us there for a minute.
It did, yeah. Coming out.
That's kind of one of the biggest things that I base
Will's
my votes on.
Gladiator wheat field, where you're just walking through it for fucking 10 miles. Flax field or whatever the fuck it was.
Flax.
DLC or expansion of the year. This is the one that surprised me. This is the one where we had votes were pretty tied up all the way across the board. We do have a clear winner here. So we have World of Warcraft: The War Within, Elden Ring: Shadow of the Erdtree, Destiny 2: The Final Shape, Diablo 4: Vessel of Hatred, Final Fantasy 14: Dawn Trail, or Hollow Knight: Silksong. And our winner was Destiny 2: The Final Shape.
I don't mind that one bit.
I don't mind that either.
It's not what I voted for, but a well-deserved win.
It was a good ending to a story. It got us all for a while. We played the shit out of it. I think Aaron still
Just
plays.
not Clorf.
He's not Clorf. There's too much lore to catch up on.
Yeah.
All right, and last but not least is a video game of the year presented to you by Yap
Goldfish.
and Yap Awards. It's a big list. We're gonna
the Yap Game of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, take a second, breathe in through your nose, and smell what The Rock is cooking.
And we'll be right back after this commercial break.
On me.
Excuse me.
My heart is
You are so totally whipped. I'm Brad. Let's ride a bicycle bill for two. Then we can go to the potpourri store and then go buy sheets. Would you rather be at home shooting a bazooka or watching a chick flick? Chick flick, bazooka. Chick flick, bazooka.
Let me in, Brad.
Who's that?
Let me in. Brad.
I don't know.
Brad.
All right. Video game of the year. Bolataro. Helldivers 2. Dragon's Dogma 2. Black Myth Wukong. Dragon Age Veilguard. The Outlast Trials. Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. Pacific Drive. Stellar Blade. Last Epoch or V Rising. And our winner was Helldivers 2. Because you got snubbed at the Video Game Awards. This had nothing to do with that. Had nothing to do with that. But I will tell you, it was a wide margin. I don't think there would have been anybody else. Someone did vote Dragon Age Veilguard.
I will find you. I will find out who you are. I will hunt you down, tie you up, and just give you to Sean.
It was probably Aaron. You knew it was probably Aaron.
I am surrounded by the delicious flavor of.
You're covered in the delicious flavor of.
I sure am.
That is it for the Video Game Awards for 2024. Brought to you by Goldfish and a couple fucking old bald dudes. Next year, we're going to redefine what the video games mean. We're going to have a whole spectacle. This is not going to be over Discord.
It's going to blow your fucking mind.
It will.
No disrespect to Snoop Dogg. It's going to.
I'm gonna reach out to what's her name from fucking Grandma's Boy, Velma, or whatever, to come do Salt and Pepper. Salt and Pepper. Push it.
I have an erection.
But all ends well. All's well that ends well. Video games are on a move. I'm hoping mine's
Helldivers 2.
Helldivers 2 is a fucking free update right now. Get out there, go play it. You know, go play Baldur's Gate, last year's Game of the Year award. You know, go play something that doesn't invest your time with like Activision
Microtransactions.
How about this for microtransactions before we get out of here? Call of Duty has introduced AI generated art that they're selling on their store to be calling cards and stuff like that for their like seasonal stuff or whatever. They've already slowly been introducing into this. The first thing community saw when they first did it, there's like a hand, there's like Santa's hand that's holding out a thing and it's got 7 fingers on it. And then there's like another one of like zombie Santa jumping. It's got like 6 fingers. there's like a calling card with like a skeleton Santa's like throwing a snowball. And if you freeze frame it, it's only got 3 fingers. Oh man,
you're pieces of shit.
You could be the people that not only continue to play that game, but continue to give that fucking company money.
Clorf.
Yeah. All right. Be good to one another. Go play video games. We may not be here next week because your boy is moving. And if we don't see you before Christmas, have a Merry, Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever else you fucking celebrate. Get ready for the new year. All right, we're out of here. Bye-bye.